What's going on, guys? It's your boy Explicit, and I just coming at you guys with a video on the classes that I play with, some of the stuff that I like to play with. You know how I got my KD up, how I got a lot better at the game, stuff like that. And I just want to show y'all some classes and stuff, and how to get y'all better at the game because I know a lot of people don't like Call of Duty Ghosts. Everybody was saying that this was probably one of the worst Call of Duties, but in my opinion, I think is probably one of the best Call of Duties, one of the most funnest, entertaining, stuff like that. But I'm just gonna get into some classes with you guys and help you guys, get a better KD, help you guys play better at the game, get you to like the game a lot more, stuff like that. So I'm gonna show you some of my classes, some of my best classes that I have set up and stuff like that. But the first one I'm gonna get into is I'm going to show y'all the Honey Badger. And this right here, I would have to say, hands down, is one of the best guns in the game. Just because it's a very strong assault rifle that already has a silencer already equipped to it. And you already can put, it already has a silencer on it, and you can already put other attachments on it. So that's what makes this such a really good gun already, that it already has a silencer on it. You don't even have to use a third attachment for it. But what I use for this gun is I use a grip on it, and I also use extended mags on it. And the reason why I use that is because the grip always makes the gun better. The grip always gives you more handle of your weapons, and the with also kind of with silencers, it kind of makes your gun a little bit more jumpy. To me, it does. It makes your gun a little bit more jumpy. So I always try to use a grip on this gun. I always use a grip on it and extended mags. I don't ever take these attachments off of this gun. I always think these are the two of the best. And extended mags, it just keeps you shooting. It keeps you coming at them, stuff like that, so you don't have to worry about always reloading. To me, I just feel like 30 in a clip isn't enough to take out various opponents, enemies, or whatever you would say. I would definitely say that those two are the best for this gun. And I also see a lot of people using armor piercing. I wanted to get like something straight with people, for people who use armor piercing for their weapons, because I run into a lot of people who do this. But people like to put on a grip, and they will put on armor piercing just for the simple fact that people think that armor piercing means that it's gonna be more damage put on to that enemy or that opponent. The armor piercing is strictly to put more damage into things like juggernauts. It'll help you put more into like helicopters or airplanes, stuff like that. What are they called? The little things that fly around shooting, like stuff like that. That helps you put more bullets into that, and more like bullets into like the wall and stuff like that. It doesn't like put more damage into the gun. It's just, it puts more damage into stuff like juggernauts. It eats more through those and stuff like that. So I don't want people to get confused. If they get confused on armor piercing, that don't mean that it's giving your gun more damage. It just means it's giving it more damage against like things like airplanes and helos and things like that, juggernauts. But I also want to get into with the lethal that I use. I always keep a C4. Always the C4. The reason why I keep a C4 is because the C4 helps you get into those hard to reach places, especially for Call of Duty Ghosts. If you notice, in Call of Duty Ghosts, people like to they like to run around, and they like to hide in top of like on top of buildings. They like to hide in top of high places, stuff like that. And what the C4 does is you can just throw that up there, get rid of your enemies and things like that. You can see them shooting out of see them shooting in out of windows, see them shooting off of top of rooftops, and things like that. So I always keep a C4 to throw up there, and you always want to get rid of your enemies with the C4. The C4 is really good. I don't use a frag or Semtex, throwing knife IDs, canister bombs. I don't use any of that kind of stuff. I just use C4. And then I'm going to get into the tacticals. I don't use tacticals, non-bangs, concussions, smoke, motion sensors, trophy systems, or thermal bratic or whatever that's called. I don't use none of that kind of stuff because I don't think that I need tacticals. There's no use for tacticals really. I think that was probably a little bit better in things like Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1 days, where tacticals were kind of like come in handy. But you don't really need it for Ghosts like that. But I mean, it's just your decision. But perks, I use speed. Let me take these off for you so I can show you. I use ready up. The reason why I use ready up is because it's keeping your weapon faster after sprinting. So you'll always, my classes, I'm a running gun. I'm really aggressive when I go, and I like to use the faster after sprinting because it keeps you always aiming up faster and stuff like that. So I definitely want to use ready up on all your classes. Another one is definitely focus, which is like a big thing to me, and all the Call of Duties that have it is focus, and like I guess they would call it flinch and stuff like that. What that does is it helps your weapon. It helps you from when you flinch when you're getting shot and stuff like that. So you always want to have focus on and stuff like that. So once you have focus on, it keeps you from flinching when you get shot and stuff like that. So you always want to have on focus. And let's see, another one would be quick draw that I use, and that is for faster aiming. You always want to have fast aim. It keeps you when you're running and gunning. It helps you on your ready up. It's making you aim faster with your enemies and stuff like that. So you always want to use your quick draw for faster aiming. Another one I like to use, I would say, is sleight of hand, or it would be marathon. Between those two that I like to use, and I would say sleight of hand would be a good one because of the fast reloading that you can use, and it helps you reload faster. With you being a running gun, and you always want to reload fast, and things like that. So I would definitely use that one as a perk of mine. And the fifth one would be the marathon. The marathon is to help you when you're running. It helps you with your ready up and your quick draw. And the reason why I say that is because it tells you once your weapon is ready faster after sprinting. And what that does is you're always unlimited sprinting, so you always want to be ready up, and you always want to be ready to shoot, stuff like that. So I would definitely use marathon. And the reason why I say that too is because once you first played the game, once the game it came out, it was very bad on spawn, so you was always bumping into somebody even when you had just got killed and come out of a spawn. And what you want to do, what that does is it helped me to always like get away from enemies a lot faster, and it helps you to like get around like curbs and walls and stuff like that, because when you don't have on that, it helps you, it makes it a lot slower for you to like run around and stuff like that. So it's a lot easier to get caught off guard and getting shot from the back and stuff like that. So you always want to have on unlimited sprint, and these right here is definitely my favorite 5 that I always use. Sometimes, depending on a gun, I might take off the sleight of hand. I might take that off, and I might put on dead silence. And I use dead silence a lot, but lately I haven't really been using it. But a lot of the times I have dead silence on my classes also, and the reason why I have dead silence on my classes is because it makes it harder for you to attack players with amplify. I can still hear your footsteps, but the reason why I still like to use dead silence is because people still have really good headphones, $300, $400, $5 headsets that they can still hear you really good. So you always want to also, if you can make a slot, you can always want to have dead silence on if you like to have dead silence. So I would definitely like to have dead silence on a lot of my classes, because a lot of people can, still hear you, stuff like that. And also too, it can also confuse you sometimes with the way that you're running, It can also be enemies behind you, which has happened to me a couple of times. I'm hearing my own footsteps, and I'm thinking it's somebody behind me, but it's just me, and it's not nobody else. But sometimes it can still confuse you, and you're like, oh, it's my footsteps, but it's actually the enemy's footsteps. So sometimes you always want to have classes that's gonna have dead silence on them, so you can always hear enemy footsteps, even if you don't have on amp, you can still hear them. So you always want to have that on. Um, for your strike package, you always want to have. Well, these are like my classes. Like I said, these is to help you guys. I want you guys to choose these classes. I want you guys to try them out, like, comment, and tell me how you feel about them. But as in for my strike packages, I like to use assault. I never run support. I always run specialist sometimes too, but I like to run assault. The reason why I run assault is because I'm a running gun. So what I like to do is I like to go in, get the enemies, and get out of there. And I'm always going for really high kills, high kill streaks, stuff like that. So the main ones I like to use is the Trinity rockets, the Battle Hind, and the Hilo. And the reason why I use these is because it helps you get to those kills. It helps you get higher kills faster. If you can easily get 6, 7 kills in a row, which isn't that hard at all, you go get your Trinity, and what that Trinity rocket does is that Trinity rocket helps you to hit the enemies. As soon as you hit the enemies, what that's gonna do is it lets you hit as many enemies as you can with 3 rockets. And what that's going to do is if you can hit at least 2 people with that, which it goes straight into your Battle Hind, you calling your Battle Hind, and what that's going to do is it's going to get as many kills for you also as it can. And what that's going to do is if it gets like 3 kills for you, it'll put you straight into getting the Hilo palette, which is what you want. Either that, or I would say the Griffin is what I would use. I would take off Hilo and I would put on Griffin or something like that, or I would take off Battle Hind, put on Griffin, and put on the Hilo palette. But what I like to use is the Battle Hind, because it takes you, once it gets those kills for you, you just kind of calm down. Once you got your Battle Hind, you kind of calm down with them running around, stuff like that, because you don't want to mess up your kills. So what you want to do is go straight into the Hilo, and that'll get you tons and tons of kills, So you would definitely want to get, that's how you get the Hilo. I've definitely, when I started first playing the game, I didn't know how to get the Hilo. I wasn't getting 12 kill streaks, 15 kill streaks, stuff like that. But I've gotten, so much better at the game and stuff like that. I used to always be really good at all the Call of Duties, but, each Call of Duty is different. Each person that plays is different. So you always have to be prepared and, come out with your own stuff and figure out what's best for you to play with. Now, I'm going to show you some of my guns that I use. I like to use the K7. That's a really good gun that I like to use with a grip and extended mags on that. That's a really good gun. If you're in like small places like Strike Zone, stuff like that, that's a really good gun to use. Another one of my favorite guns to use would be the Remington R5 with the extended mags and the grip on that. And if you don't want to, what I like to do is sometimes I take off the extended mags and I will put a red dot sight on that, but I don't do that very often. And the reason why I say that is because it only has 24 bullets in the gun, and that's really bad, really low for a gun as good as the Remington. So I would always like to keep on extended mags for that. But if you're a red dot person, like you use red dot, I would definitely say use that. Now, as for the perks for that, same thing, but what I definitely like to keep on this gun is the faster reloading, because that gun reloads pretty slow. So I would definitely like to I would always say keep you a sleight of hand on the Remington R5, the same setup for perks that I told you about. Another gun that I absolutely love is the Vector CRB. Would be the these right here, which would be your muzzle brake and your grip. I like to use. I use those a lot, but sometimes I take that off and I put on extended mags for it. If I'm liking a running gun and I'm playing on somewhere like Sovereign or something like that. Sometimes I take off the grip and I would throw on a muzzle brake, flash, or either a silencer sometimes. But mostly sometimes I would throw like a silencer on there to keep you hurry up running and gunning and having a lot of bullets. One of my absolute favorite SMGs would definitely be the MTAR. I definitely use the MTAR a lot with the silencer, or I would take that off and put on extended mags, or I would put on muzzle brake or something like that. I like to switch the MTAR around a lot. But these are normally the ones I use for this, which would be the these two right here, the muzzle brake and the grip. And I'll give you another one. I'm not gonna get into all of these because a lot of you don't have a lot of the extra classes, so I just bought all the extra classes. But I'm just gonna say for my last one that I use that I want you guys to try out is the ARX 160. And the reason why I say that is because it's a really good gun. A lot of people don't think the ARX is a good gun, but if you have good aim and you can control this gun, it can be a really deadly weapon. And what I want you guys to try out is try out this gun. I want you to put a grip on it, and I want you to put a silencer on it, and just practice with this gun as best as you can. I promise you it's a really good gun. I'm gonna be showing you some gameplay with this gun pretty soon, but go ahead and throw you a silencer on there, throw your grip on there, and run with ready up, run with sleight of hand, marathon, focus, and a quick draw. Put those on there, and I promise you that'll be you will definitely like this gun. It's a really good setup. But that's all for my classes. I'm gonna probably get into a class number 2 for you guys. But what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to tell me some of you guys' favorite setups. Let me know what you guys like to play with. And what I want to do is I want to go play with you guys setup, and I would like to put that on my YouTube to play with you guys classes and see how you guys classes work and things like that. But I also want to let you guys know that I had bought an Elgato a while back, but it hasn't been working as good as I thought it would. My computer's really slow. I wasn't realizing that my computer was too slow to handle the Elgato, but I want you guys to work with me. I'm still working on it. If I'm not uploading that fast, it's because I'm having problems with my Elgato and my computer and stuff like that. It's too slow to handle it, but I'm working into getting a higher laptop, things like that. So I want you guys to work with me, but I want you guys, like I said, to give me some of you guys classes right in the comments for me. Which classes you like to play with, which classes you want me to play with, and I'll upload them and tell you how I like the classes, how I work with the classes and things like that. But if you guys like the video and you guys like these classes, come out, comment, tell me which classes you like, which ones work for you. And this is your boy Explicit. Let me know how your classes work, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.